My name is Sudha Sadanand, and as always, I shall bring to you 9 top stories from the south of India. The first big story: 5 people dead over, 200 injured due to heat and dehydration while they were attending the IAF Air Show at Marina Beach. The opposition has slammed the ruling DMK for crowd mismanagement. That's the lead story. What an inhuman story this is. Let's not even play politics on this. We should not be doing that. 5 dead in Mayhem at Marina. Look at the sea of people who had arrived there. This was to be the mother of all air shows and planned as a spectacular event after a gap of 2 decades. But then tragedy struck, and the day shall only be now recalled as one of the most chaotic, inhuman and horrific days in the history of Chennai and also unfortunately the Indian Air Force. On 6th October, an air show was held at Marina Beach in Chennai to mark the Indian Air Force's 92nd anniversary and was heavily publicized across platforms. An estimated 15 lakh or so spectators. Now, whether they were 15 lakhs, 13 lakhs, different figures are being given, but suffice to say, lots of people. They were there at the beach to witness one of the largest air shows, which set a new record in the Limca Book of Records. You know, as an aside, I was watching local channels yesterday, Tamil channels, and I saw how proud everyone was. Yes, we've made it to the Book of Limca Records. Little did they know. Now, people began gathering starting 7 a.m. and on a day which was extremely humid at 36 degrees. And although there was prior information asking them to carry umbrellas, enough water and wear a cap and sunglasses to ward off the heat, a tragedy was waiting to happen. The mayhem unfolded when the crowd began leaving a single exit door, and then it was just uncontrollable. A bureaucratic disaster and a lesson in how to mismanage crowds, if there ever was, led to the death of at least 5 people who've been identified as Srinivasan, 48 years old, 34-year-old Karthikeyan, 56-year-old John Babu, and also Dinesh. 96 others were hospitalized and received treatment for their only fault of cheering the spectacular air show. Many fainted due to dehydration, fell on the sand of the Marina Beach due to hunger as food stalls around the neighborhood had run out of food items. Many were hurt while trying to flee. They braced themselves as there was hardly any medical attendance on hand. Ambulances screamed with their sirens on, but no one gave them way. In short, a nightmare at noon. That's what this needs to be called, a nightmare at noon. Lack of public transportation awaited those who managed to at least get out. Neighborhoods leading into Marina Beach, such as Triplicane, Roypeta and Pudupet, were flooded with thousands desperately walking towards main road. Traffic stretched from Beach Road to Annasale with no movement. What was worse was the complete apathy of the authorities and those who apparently did all this forward planning. MRTS and CMRL services operated like they do on any other Sunday, which led to congestion at stations following the event. Can you imagine that some families decided not to go back home and stayed back at that sweltering beach which had been witness to such a mayhem, while others just sat looking forlorn on the pavements? If you've been to Marina Beach, the world famous beach, there are pavements. You can just sit there and think that this ocean of humanity that I just saw, many of them must be now either dead or they must have just been receiving treatment for such a horrible day. Let's listen into some of the voices on the issue, even as each political party may want to score brownie points over this horror. Former Chief Minister and now Chief of AIADMK, Edappadi Palaniswamy, said as follows, and I'm reading out what he said and then we shall play all the bites. My deepest condolences to the bereaved families. The state government earlier informed that arrangements have been made for transportation and basic facilities. However, since the police force was inadequate to regulate, people were put to severe hardships. I condemn the Stalin government for failing to provide proper security for this event.
While the entire Chennai city was enjoying the air show done by the Indian Air Force. It was very unfortunate that the Chennai Corporation, the Tamil Nadu government and the Chennai police did not cooperate with the public. It is most unfortunate that the maladministration, misadministration, the most worst traffic arrangements done by the Tamil Nadu police, the Chennai police has ended up in 5 lives. We have lost 5 lives, and also a few hundreds have admitted in hospitals, in various hospitals in Chennai. This is due to lack of proper planning, lack of intelligence. The entire railway stations across the Chennai, MRTS or metro, have been flooded with people, which was not expected at all. It is really disgusting to see that there were no arrangements by the police.
So everybody around city, living around city had come there, and people even from outside might have come there. See, this is conducted by the Indian Air Force, and the crowd which the Marina can hold. We cannot place chairs everywhere, and most of the people had come with umbrellas because of the timing between 11 o'clock in the before noon and until 1 o'clock the show has conducted. And the crowd was most unexpectedly huge. So people have to be careful while coming. But the rush, how the people will react in a rush, that might have led to such things. I don't know what the Air Force had discussed with the government of Tamil Nadu. They might have discussed the matter with the government of Tamil Nadu. They might have asked for certain provisions for the people, and they might also have made certain arrangements for the people. But with this kind of a crowd, even you can see in temple functions, sometimes such things occur because of the anxiety of the people.
வெயிலின் தாக்கம் மிக கொடூரமாக இருந்தது. அதற்காகத்தான் இந்திய விமானப்படை ஏற்கனவே சொன்னது, இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் கலந்து வருகிற பொதுமக்கள் குடைகளுடன் வர வேண்டும், தண்ணீருடன் வர வேண்டும், கண்ணாடி அணிந்து வர வேண்டும், தொப்பி அணிந்து வர வேண்டும் என்று அவர்கள் முன்னெச்சரிக்கையாக இந்த எல்லா விஷயங்களையும் எடுத்துச் சொன்னார்கள். அந்த வெயில் தாக்கத்திற்கு, வெயில் பாதிப்புக்குள்ளானவர்களுடைய எண்ணிக்கை 102. இதுல புறநோயாளிகளாக இருந்து சிகிச்சை பெற்று சென்றவர்கள் 93 பேர், இறந்து போனவர்களுடைய எண்ணிக்கை 5. இப்பொழுது மருத்துவமனையில் அந்த சிகிச்சை பெற்று வருபவர்கள் 7 பேர். 7 பேருமே ஸ்டேபிளா இருக்கிறாங்க. இறந்தவர்கள் 5 பேர். இது அரசாங்கத்தின் சார்பில் சொல்லப்படுகிற செய்திதான். இது அரசாங்கம் இறப்பே இல்லை என்று சொன்னது என்கின்ற ஒரு செய்தியை நீங்களாகவே பரப்பி விடுவது என்பது தவறு.
I wonder why the Health Minister Ma Subramanian has been, put to explain this. I sometimes feel this is very odd, but then I'm going to ask the guest. But meanwhile, this is what DMK's Kanimuri Karunanidhi said, and I quote her here. The news of the death of 5 people is very sad and painful. When the public who witnessed the military flight adventure program held at the Marina Beach in Chennai suffered from the crowd and the temperature was high. Unmanageable gatherings should also be avoided. Really? But it's your government. You know what? Just to provide all the amenities to the Chief Minister and his family and all the other dignitaries, perhaps only fair. Because I know you will scream at me and say that, listen, they need the security. Of course they need. But at what cost? The cost is rather high, right? I'll introduce you to the guest and then take a break and come back. Kovai Satyan, spokesperson for the AIADMK, has joined us. The Jagadishwaran, who is the spokesperson for TVK, has also joined us. He is of course a very well-known journalist. Gladstone Xavier, political analyst from Tamil Nadu, has also joined us. Welcome to all of you. Vanakkam. Thank you for your patience. I have to take a break. But when I come back, this disaster called this Marina Beach Air Show, we shall all discuss. Thank you.
Let yourself flow with the turn of each tide.
Salty winds, you sweeten your ride.
Maharashtra,
Maharashtra is the hit.
Maharashtra Tourism.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
All right, that's the story that we are following. 5 dead in the mayhem at Marina. Let me now go to all the guests. First up, D. Jagadishwaran. Welcome to the debate, Jagadishwaran. Good to have you on the show. You know, this is a government. To put the blame on IAF and everything is just, it doesn't hold water. It's a very poor, it's in very bad taste, the excuse, Jagadishwaran. What were you doing? When I say you, what was the government doing? What was Chennai Corporation doing? I mean, you call people, you advertise it. Yesterday, like I said, you know, I saw all the Tamil channel. Oh, we've come to Limca, you know, Magrichi, I mean, happiness, and we've made it to the Limca book of records. People were, now please shake your umbrellas. They all shook on left, then right. All this gimmickry was done, no? What stopped them? Yes. Whenever there is a small function, even if it's a public meeting, you have to take, you know, a no objection certificate from the fire department. You have to see there is enough water. Toilets are there. These are all things which have to be there. What were they doing?
Yes, I will start with what Mr. TK was saying.
Exactly.
He was saying we cannot provide chairs to all the people. Sir, we didn't ask chairs. We asked for water. We never asked for chairs. We didn't say where everybody who comes to Marina needs a chair. We want water. We want a pot. We want a water can. We want water lorries. That's what people require. See, people who are walking back on the road, they're saying, sir, we have money, but there are no shops to buy water bottles. We are completely dehydrated. We have to walk for another 1 hour, 2 hours because there is so much crowd here. It's complete mismanagement. See, first of all, we'll start with the place where, was there any coordination meeting for this event? Was there any coordination meeting between all the departments, the stakeholders for this meeting? I don't think so. If at all there was one coordination meeting, there they could have been discussed where, okay, we are going for Limca records, which means we are expecting crowd up to 15 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So we need to provide water, but maybe I will advise people to bring water. Can see, this is a Sunday. Number 2, this is a free event. This is the last day for the children who are enjoying their quarterly holidays, which means there is going to be a huge crowd. If you say, I do not know, if TK Silangona is saying there is unexpected crowd. If you are saying unexpected crowd, then you are not fit to rule this government, not fit to rule this land.
Is that the stand of the Tamil Vetri Katchi also, that is TVK, which is now headed by actor turned politician Dalapati Vijay? Is that what the party is saying? Is this criticism coming from the party because you are a spokesperson?
Yes, this criticism. Our leader has tweeted, he has put out a statement saying first we condole the death of these 5 people who lost their lives, and we have prayers for all the people who are hospitalized. But next, he's talking about the misadministration. There should have been better planning. The basic needs of the people were not taken care.
This is inhuman. Yeah,
yes.
This is inhuman. You know, yes. Also, sorry, Jagdishwaran, to compare it with, stampede happened at that temple, this temple, people go to temple.
That is completely stupid.
It is odious. This is, just because people die there in Kanchipuram or in Tiruvallur, does it mean that people should die in Marina? Gladstone Xavier, before I come to you, let me also issue a clarification here. I invited DMK, they refused to come. And, this is not an answer that I'm not going to tell you why, no prizes for guessing. They said we want to keep away, good for them. Gladstone Xavier, one of the worst mishaps that one can see. Thank God for small mercies that only 5 people had died, because otherwise it could have been a complete kind of a death trap. One exit door, people running towards it, breaking the barricades. They started coming at 7 in the morning. For the event which finished at 1 o'clock, it started at around 11:30. They thought 13 lakhs will come, 15 lakh come. They came. What a mismanagement of this. Water got over, no toilets there. Ambulances could not even make their way into. You and I, all of us have seen Marina Beach, at least 1,000 times. They couldn't come in. Going back, people walked, old people fainted, children were crying. This is really, the worst kind of a nightmare, Gladstone Xavier. Unmute, sir.
Yeah.
Hi.
Look, this is definitely a major tragedy that has happened to Chennai. We go back to bigger crowds where that have been handled much better. What could have been done prospectively is involve civil society people to manage the crowds. That was not done. Now, if you look at the Jallikattu protest, which I was part of and I was observing it for a very long time, from day one, I've been part of that, and also larger crowds post-tsunami or various crowd management. Civil society has been very kind and organized themselves quite well. Even this time, the conduct of the civil society was quite good. But what has happened is the infrastructure that was not provided definitely is to blame. That nobody can to run away from that. Secondly, what has happened is the scaffolding is the transport. When you have these large crowds, ferrying people back and forth was not done properly, including the metro, including the suburban stations, the Velachery railway station and all that. So we know that this is something which is a spectacular event, a bonanza that's coming. And when you're organizing such an event, we cannot say we're not prepared. Definitely, that's a mistake. Now, I don't know what has happened to people who have reached home. Reported deaths are 5. And then there are people who have received, 98 people or have received treatment. But I also know people personally who have been hospitalized due to various things during their transit back home. And last night till about 8 o'clock, the trains were full. So that means staggering of population and managing better crowd management is what is the prerequisite. And I think we could have done much better with the situation, like handling situations like this. That's my first response. But I think what could have happened is communication through all channels with regard to the cautious behaviors, whether it's umbrellas or waters and other things. If water tanks had been placed in different places and distribution units, placing water tank is one, distribution units need to be placed in various other areas. We've managed large camps with huge number of population, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakh people. We've managed these camps. Now, when you're managing that, the primary issue is that you cannot leave it to the police and the ambulances to do. You need civil volunteers, you need lay volunteers. You need people from civil society to be part of the organization team. Like you have a number of NSS students from colleges. You have groups from different organizations, voluntary groups. If they are put to task, then you have to zone them and manage them. The zone management was not there. Clearly, that's been a very, very sad thing that has happened. And this is a big lesson. The big takeaway is when you do events like this, large-scale events, the way you manage crowd is provide multiple entries and multiple exits.
Right.
So we have managed these stadium-wise events, right?
That was
open crowds. Right?
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to ask Kovai Satyan, who is from the AIADMK.
The idea is,
and I hope that he connects with us. Yeah.
Long distance walking. Chennai is not suited for large events like this. That's period. We have to admit that. Because the parking facilities are not close by. It's not inclusive. You have people with disability, people with diseases, people with all kinds of ailments coming. Everybody is thrilled to see such an event.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. If they'd rather be watching it on television.
Not here. Kovai Satyan is also with us, a spokesperson for the AIADMK. Hi. Satyan, what a mismanaged, dehumanizing, inhuman event in the history of Chennai. Why do I get this feeling? And I'm sorry, if I get this, it's almost like, oh, Indian Air Force is doing this show. Let them do it, we'll also come. It's like, you are getting married, you've invited me, I'll come, have some great food, give you the money and then walk off. I don't care whether your stage is falling or people are, dying without food. You know what I mean? The analogy, just to come there and say, hey, congrats Satyan, and then go away. There doesn't seem to be an onus being taken. The mayor of Chennai, Priya, is sitting there. I saw her, even during the press conference with Ma Subramanian. Lot of questions need to be addressed, and I don't understand, which I'm going to also ask Jagdishwaran. Why put the onus on Health Minister Ma Subramanian? Why?
Good evening, Sudha.
Hi.
The event was held by Indian Air Force, but it was primarily targeted with one viewer in mind, the family of M.K. Stalin. The entire state machinery was so hell-bent to please M.K. Stalin, his son who is a deputy CM, and M.K. Stalin's wife and their relatives to watch the show. People like me who went all the way to express solidarity with a high degree of patriotism. I want to see Tejas, the indigenously built aircraft built by my country. I want to see the fighter jets of Rafale being flown by a women pilot. And I had taken my 10-year-old daughter to the event. Okay. So I witnessed Yamadharmaraja in front of me yesterday.
Oh my God, okay.
What the series of events unfolded in front of me and the experience I went through cannot be described in words. So I am not here in your show taking clues from different sources and narrating it. Myself, my family member, my wife and my daughter, we all three went because I wanted to show my daughter, see, this is a patriotic event. We have a great Air Force and they are celebrating their 92nd day. Let's go there and express solidarity. That was the intent. This was not for entertainment. Saying that let's go, let's chill out. That's not the case. Like me, thousands and thousands have come to express their solidarity. They have not come there to have a fun time. So the 7 kilometers before the event venue, traffics were blocked. We are made to walk for 7 kilometers. The event time starts at 11 o'clock. Right. And we started at, we were blocked at 9:30. It took 1.5 hours to walk that 7 kilometers to reach the venue.
My God.
And for your kind information, Sudha, the second longest beach in the world is this Marina.
Yes, of course.
If an event of such a magnitude cannot be conducted in Marina, where else can it happen? Clearly shows how mismanagement an event can be and how misplaced priorities are there for the ruler. When it comes to running a Formula 4 race car, this government DMK goes and submits a 20-page report to the court stating that, see the preparations, these are the preparations we have taken. This will not hamper the hospital that is there. This will not hamper the railway station. This will not harm the public in any way. This much of planning have gone to conduct a Formula 4 race car. But when it comes to an event where a common man can come and express his sentiments, emotions and solidarity, now starting from the CM, everybody says that we have done our best. It is up to the IAF to answer.
Yes. Why put the blame? Why shift the blame to the IAF like Satyan is saying?
And let me tell you, Sudha, I was 5 kilometers away from the Marina beach. I took another beach called Foreshore Estate. I thought probably, yes, there might be a lesser crowd. And to my surprise, the entire vehicles were parked on the road because there was no traffic management. People don't know where to park their vehicles.
Exactly.
So the event is about to start, they parked then and there on the roads and started viewing. And in front of my eyes, within 10-15 minutes, I can see a child fainting. Another small child at 14 years got a seizure, sunstroke. Her eyes were so glued to the top. The parents didn't realize that she is getting into a seizure. And I was hurrying and I called a cop standing next to me on the road and saying, boss, call the medics. If there are medics nearby, call them immediately. Tell me where is a medical stand is. Tell me where I can get the paramedics. He says, sir, I don't have any information, sir. You please call 108. And you won't believe, after calling 108, he didn't reach for half an hour.
Yeah, today
I have to seek the help of a car wala who was there and told him, sir, please switch on your AC. Can you take her to the hospital?
Look at this.
Because the entire traffic was chock-a-block.
Yeah. Today, Kovai Satyan
and I could see elderly women and other women seeking directions to go and relieve themselves in the restroom. There were no makeshift restrooms.
What a shame.
I could see small
What a
children crying
shame.
for water. They were crying for water because the water, whatever they got at 2 liters, 3 liters.
It will get over. What nonsense is this? Can I carry a drum on my head when I come for this event? And today, Kovai Satyan is not speaking like someone who belongs to a political party. This is a first-hand account of a man who was there with his 10-year-old daughter and wife, and he is describing what a lot of us will miss. This is not a politician or someone who belongs to a political party speaking. This is a citizen of Chennai, father of a 10-year-old daughter and a family man, saying that a child, a 14-year-old, she was getting into a seizure and elderly women were asking where they can go and relieve themselves. This is what Chennai administration does, and then conveniently shifts the blame onto Indian Air Force. This is what the people of Chennai had bargained for. This is complete nonsense. You know what, Satyan? I am sure a few heads are going to roll by this evening and everything is done and dusted. He is now said solution for those. That's it. Chapter over, curtains. That's all is going to happen.
I give you another first account information. There were no entry and exits clarity for the people who came to the venue.
Yeah.
And even the organizers, the police personnel there, when I reached out to him and asked him, can you please guide us how we can make our way out? It was not a car. I took a two-wheeler, knowing that if I take a car, I'll get stuck. Even a two-wheeler couldn't move out of that place for 3 hours. And I can see thousands of people left their vehicles on the road and they started walking.
Yeah.
The regular services were not increased on the MRTS.
Yes, it was services. Like you know, that's what I want. Yeah, even
and the transport department has not deputed special buses to fly for the venue.
I just don't understand that on festive days in Delhi or on days like 15th August or 26th January, the metro makes all the arrangements to see that people reach with no problems. What was Chennai Metro doing? Instead of going and signing a deal with the center, what else did they do? Jagdishwaran, I want to come to you and ask you a very, very important question. Why is Ma Subramanian pressed into action for this? He is the health minister, no? This is not about COVID. This is not about dengue. This is not about chikungunya. Why is he put in front? Oh, this happened. He issues a medical bulletin and everything is all right, is it?
Yeah, that's how. He's also saying if people are trying to do politics, they will fail. This government has failed. This government has failed to save the people already. And he is saying you will fail. What nonsense is he talking about this? See, you are talking about CMRL. Actually, CMRL, at least after this chaos, they increased the train frequency. They said for every 3.5 minutes, there will be a train. But my question is, why didn't the government write letters to CMRL? Why didn't the government, Tamil Nadu government write letters to Southern Railway saying we're expecting huge crowds, increase the frequency of the trains? And why is the government not, why didn't they bring buses from Chengalpet, Kanjipuram, all those nearby districts? We need more buses. That's what, see, there was no planning at all.
All right.
As Satya was saying, there was no entry point, exit point. Everybody was coming out of the same way and they're trying to throng in the same way. And what would happen? And
you speak about Chengalpet and Kanjipuram. People came from Chengalpet and Kanjipuram because I belong to that district. They all went. They took their private vehicles to see this. That is what a Chennaiite is. Let's go cheer. This is our country. Like Satyan went with his daughter. But ultimately, today will be recalled for the tragedy of those 5 people who've lost their lives. They will always think of air shows. They look up at an airplane and think, we lost someone we loved. Thank you so much. I've completely run out of time. Satyan, thank you very much. Jagdishwaran, thank you very much. And also Gladstone Xavier. I'm sorry, I have to move on. But thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. The next story. This is once again a prasadam rao. High levels of pesticides found in the Sabarimala Aravana prasadam. 6.65 lakh containers of the prasadam to be disposed. That's coming up next.
Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic presidential nominee.
I made my choice. Kamala Harris. She's experienced. She's tough. She's capable.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
I am the one saving democracy.
He has tapped into the fear and anxiety about demographic change in the US.
This polarization in the United States. Some people are even suggesting that there could be a civil war.
You are this unable to solve your own domestic problems. You have no right to claim to be anybody else in the world. And we're moving into a multipolar world where the United States will not lead.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
From Payal Nath, the CEO and director of Kadam Heart. You're working with people, you're working with emotions, you're working with hands, you're working with nature.
We are very clear, we want to commit to livelihoods. We want to commit to the planet. We want to impact 1 million artisans, which is 1 million families minimum.
Be the change that you want to see.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
In the heart of New York, an Indian spectacle unfolds. Step into the world of the elite saga, featuring influential Indians who've rocked the globe. From culinary geniuses,
this has been nothing less than a dream,
to the wisdom of sages.
And which is why success can never be spelt without you.
Discover the stories behind the stars. Experience the magic behind the scenes. At the first Indian event at the Statue of Liberty. Watch the Elite Saga streaming only on News9 Plus. Download now.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
From Payal Nath, the CEO and director of Kadam Heart. You're working with people, you're working with emotions, you're working with hands, you're working with nature.
We are very clear, we want to commit to livelihoods. We want to commit to the planet. We want to impact 1 million artisans, which is 1 million families minimum.
Be the change that you want to see.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, so that's the second story that we are following. Pesticides found in Sabarimala prasadam. Even as a huge controversy rages over the allegation of adulterated ghee used in the laddu prasadam at the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, there is yet another row which has now broken over the Sabarimala temple's prasadam or Aravana for allegedly containing high levels of pesticide. Nearly 6.65 lakh containers of Aravana of Sabarimala Ayyappa temple in Kerala were left unused over the past 1 year following a complaint of high levels of pesticides in the cardamom used for its production. Though the Aravana was later found to be safe for consumption, the Travancore Devaswam board that manages the temple decided to dispose of the stock worth around rupees 5.5 crores and turn them into manure. However, the plan to dispose it in the forest regions faced stiff opposition from authorities. Although various other options were considered, the TDB wanted to ensure that the prasadam is disposed of in a scientific manner without hurting the sentiments of devotees. Hence, tenders were floated for scientific disposal of the Aravana. Aravana is really delicious. It is made of rice and jaggery, is one of the major sources of income for the hill shrine. Now, for instance, during the last pilgrimage, the revenue from Aravana sale was 147 crores, which was around 40% of the temple's total revenue. Yet again, apart from the fact that this unusable prasadam will cause the Sabarimala shrine excessive economic loss, the main issue is about belief. About what is served to the deity cannot be contaminated at all. Let me now welcome the expert on this, Rahul Ishwar, who is an author and activist. Rahul, namaskaram. And considering that you have a very close association with the Sabarimala, in the morning when I sent you that message, I sent it with the thought that you must know, must be the best at this because your family has a long association, with the temple. Tell me something. This is not the first time, Rahul Ishwar. I remember in 2017 there was a controversy about artificial colors which was being used. After all, the color that the prasadam gets is because of jaggery and how much of it is to be cooked. But there was a thing that in the appam or any other prasadam, there was, colors which were being mixed. Now, again in 11 January 2023, a division bench of the Kerala High Court restrained the TDB from selling the Aravana payasam. The point is that cardamom has for long, if you read, you must be reading, but lot of magazines, environmental magazines, and let me quote down to earth here, has spoken about how the queen of spices, cardamom, is the king of pesticides. There is a big problem there. How does one work around this? Because you know about the faith people have.
Ma'am, two submissions. First of all, whatever controversy is happening regarding a temple, church or mosque will hurt the devotees because devotees are very sensitive to it. And we actually go to temple, mosque or church to forget about all the worries of the world, to seek some solace. And we take Aravana and Appam in the highest of worshipful attitude and bring it. So when we hear anything negative about it, it definitely hurts. But over the years, there has been issue of pollution, contamination in Aravana, and many people have pointed this out. Right now, Travancore Devasam Board has almost 5.5 crore worth of Aravana has been disposed of as per various reports. But I believe we can prepare these better in a more professional manner, if I can use that word. Even though these things should be done with extreme devotion is needed. But an element of professionalism in handling these things would be very required, especially in Sabarimala, where it's a mountain temple. It's a Kanana temple, as we call it. So it's amidst a dense jungle. So there are issues of reach, facilitation, resources. But I hope Travancore Devasam Board, which manages the temple, Kerala government and nearly 22 government departments work with it. I hope better results are given because devotees come with extreme devotion. Even for the smaller children, they buy these and give them this. So, we believe that's a sacred thing, just like Ganga Jal. So I hope such negative things don't actually come, and hopefully all the things should be prepared. We have hardly 40 days to start the Mandala Kalam, the 41 days followed by Magaravilaka. It should be more, and even there are other controversies which you may have heard, that spot booking is closed, only digital booking is out there. So there are some issues, but my only request is, we Indians are generally the 11th hour people. Need to be more early, prepare better, so that devotees have a hassle-free darshan.
Rahul, very well said, of course, but this controversy, like I said, you see how you said deal with it scientifically. I was speaking to someone, and that lady, is very, very devoted. She said, pesticide means insects. I'm a vegetarian. What happens? There in Tirupati, there is lard. I'm a vegetarian. This is also, but the most important aspect of it is, who can help it if there is pesticide in cardamom? After all, you have to grow this. It's a very expensive crop, But the point is that the end result, like you say, we have to prepare. How do you fight around this? Because there is a great economic loss, the Devaswam. It survives because of this prasadam, right? The point is, how do we work around this? Because this is about faith, like you say. However much you tell people that the Manikarnika Ghat, about the history of the Ghat in Banaras, but when they pick up the water of, Ganga in their palm, it is moksha, no? So how do you work around it? And this is coming from a devotee, so I'm asking you.
It's a very, very sensitive topic that you raised, that we all need to talk, discuss and deal with. 2 points. One, faith is extremely sensitive. We are ordinary people. We will get hurt easily because we are going to the Diva Pranidhi. So that's the reason why the use of language is very important. And even me, when I go with my son, I know that some of the places in Ganga are dirty, but as soon as you get there, you have the natural tendency to treat this as a tirtha and to have it. And regarding the economics also of Sabarimala, Travancore Devaswam Board has 1,248 temples, of which Sabarimala is one of the 100 temples which are self-sufficient. Nearly other 1,000 temples is being supported by Sabarimala financially and all. And it is the Tirtharana time, or the Mandala Magaravilaka Gala, that sustains the temple ecosystem in the whole of Kerala. So devotees are very important. At the same point of time, devotees should not feel hurt. We need more scientific crowd management, these kind of delivery of our prasadam, because at the end of the day, if somebody falls sick, God forbid, that will really create a ripple effect. That will create a hostility in the mind of the ordinary devotees. That's the reason why we have to be very sensitive. We have to bring in the best of the people to professionally arrange this. Of course, the devotion and spirituality is the soul of it, but we need to balance, harmonize and manage all this, which is easy to be said, but it is very tough to be done.
Also Aravana to be converted into manure. Now, I do not know, but in a lot of cultures, any prasadam or any leftover after a religious function, we see to it that it is not eaten or desecrated by other things, so we usually bury it. Is that the philosophy behind it? Because for a lot of devotees, they feel, what is this? Why are they turning it into manure, Rahul Ishwar?
I mean, even that particular news, when it came, devotees felt bad.
Yes.
Because we consider Aravana as very sacred. We give it to our children and all. And when we hear it is going to be turned into manure, it has a feeling of, maybe technically they are right, maybe scientifically they are right. But when we go to any temple, church or mosque, not our rational self, but our emotional and devotional self take precedence. So, when we hear such not positive things, that creates a sense of negativity, if I can be very open and blunt with it. So I hope such things should be taken care in a much more delicate manner, handled very sensitively, and the aura of purity and the aura of Shuddhi, as we call it, Manashuddhi, Vak Shuddhi, Pravarti Shuddhi, Deha Shuddhi, that Shuddhi attitude is very important, because even if we go to Ganga, even if we go to Vaishno Devi, even if we go to Tirupati, every food item associated with it has an element of divinity. Even small children consume it. So you feel bad when you hear the word pesticide, you hear the word manure, you hear it to be used for something else. So naturally we have that kind of a negative feeling in our consciousness, if I can be very blunt. That's the reason we need much more sensitivity, faith-friendly policy and faith-friendly language, because at the end of the day, millions and millions of people live in this temple ecosystem too. I'm an ardent devotee, but along with being an ardent devotee, as a realist, there are lakhs of people pujaris are there, their families are there, Devasam employees are there, the entire Devasam board is there. These things also subsist on the economy of spirituality, if I can use that word. Even though spirituality is the core, there is an economics to it too. So we have to take care of it in a better way. We have been suggesting, for example, in Sabarimala, lack of good e-toilets are there. So we have been suggesting, a lot of people are ready to contribute. You just have to facilitate. So you need to feel that purity when you go there is a very important aspect.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Rahul Ishwar, for joining us on this debate. And I liked what he said. Economic spirituality, spirituality of economics. I mean, what a wonderful way to see that devotees are not dissatisfied when they go to their favorite deities. Coming up next, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah assures of implementing the caste census report, calls a cabinet meeting on the 18th of October. That was much awaited, of course. Siddaramaiah finally to conduct caste census. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has called a cabinet meeting on 18th of October with a very, very set agenda to discuss the implementation of caste census report in the state. He has assured his cabinet colleagues and party members that he shall implement the caste census report in the next few days. This assurance from Siddaramaiah comes after he held a meeting with MLAs and ministers from the Ahinda community also earlier in the day. Now, the Ahindas have in the past also pressurized the Siddaramaiah government to implement the report. Now, the socio-economic and education survey report, which is actually also the caste census report, was prepared by a committee headed by former chairperson of Karnataka Backward Classes Commission, K. Jayaprakash Hegde. That is the history of it. The commissioner had been constituted by Siddaramaiah in 2015 during his first tenure as Chief Minister. The survey covered over 13 million households, which comprises 59 million residents across the state. But then there was a controversy about how many Lingaites and how many Vokaligas, etc., etc. But who better than my colleague, Mohammad Vajiullah, who shall now weigh in on this. Vaji, what is the reason? Because Rahul has also now spoken about it, and of course, Siddaramaiah himself, that yes, caste census will be, we know that he's been sitting on it since 2015. You and I have had many discussions. What has prompted him right now? Is it the latest controversy, considering he's been meeting Ahinda leaders, he's been meeting Ahinda seers, everyone, to see that he is above board? What is the reason for the sudden change of mind, Vajiullah?
So it could also be to divert attention, but these are all the political possibilities. But to see what the meeting that was held today with the Ahinda and backward classes leader all met the Chief Minister today, and from there the discussion came out that in the coming cabinet meeting, he will place this in front of the cabinet, and the cabinet will then decide whether they will have to take the caste census forward or not. So he's now passed the buck to the cabinet. If you remember, a week back he had said from the stage that yes, he will implement the caste census report. He has it with him. He's reading it and he's going to discuss about it. Now, this caste census report first came out before the election on the February of 29th of this year itself. It was handed over to the Chief Minister, and he said that he would go through it and he will come out of it. And it was also a part of the Congress manifesto that they will try to bring the caste census. But after that, we saw that there was no discussion over it, and then we suddenly saw the entire Muda scandal coming in. That is why the BJP believed that Siddaramaiah raking up the caste census issue right now is to divert the attention of the public from the Muda issue, from the scams that have been leveled against him, and that is why he's trying to bring in the caste census report in the middle, so that he can divert that attention. Now, Siddaramaiah is held back with the fact that the cabinet on the 18th of October will decide whether it will be implemented. But if the cabinet decides yes, they should go ahead, because there were meetings that was held today by the Ahinda leaders, by the backward leaders, by minority groups, and other representatives of GST. They all were happy with the fact that yes, this has been considered. So we'll have to wait and watch how much of this will turn into a reality.
On that note, thank you very much, Mohammad Vajiullah, for joining us on this broadcast. So there you have it, caste census soon in Karnataka. All right, we've come to the end of the South Indian for today, and as promised, I leave you with some of the other top stories from the south of India. Thank you for watching. Vanakkam.
Hello guys, welcome to my show. It's a beautiful day to be out on the street. I am Sriya Kundu. And well, I am your guide for anything and everything. And today we're out on this adventure to check out these different places. Where do I get that trendy outfit? Or what's the most suited skincare product for myself? Well, my curiosity knows no bounds, and with that, I will take you to these different places, gain knowledge about it, and bring you all the information about it so that you can strike them off your list next. So let's go on this adventure together, because you love it, you list it, here with me. Sorry. So I am a journalist by profession and a content creator by passion. And one of the daily struggles I face